So let's just run through the warm up really fast. We need to tell whether lines A, B, C, and D are parallel or perpendicular to the line y equals 2/5 x minus 14. So is A parallel, perpendicular, or neither?
Parallel.
How do you know?
Same slope.
Yeah. Parallel because they have the same slope. What about B?
Perpendicular.
So I'm hearing perpendicular or neither.
Perpendicular is the opposite of.
Listen to me, it's neither.
So Zach, give me your argument.
Slope is. Oh, never mind. No, it has to be flipped.
Okay. So
It's not perpendicular.
perfect. That's great. Good reasoning. So B is actually neither. We see that it's opposite. The sign is opposite, but it's not flipped. It's not the reciprocal of the slope that we have.
C is
So C, we see that the sign is opposite and it's flipped, and the slope is flipped. So that is perpendicular. And then what about D?
neither.
I'm hearing neither.
No.
That's neither.
Neither?
Neither.
Yeah, so it's flipped,
And average.
but they have the same sign. Awesome. So now what we're going to do is the directions say write the equation of a line through the given point. So this here is the given point, which is parallel to the line that I gave you. So for number one, we want to write the equation of a line that is parallel to y equals negative 2x plus 7. And that new line, that parallel line, we want that to go through the point 2, negative 5. So I'm going to walk you through this step by step, very carefully. So, the first thing we see, this line is parallel to the line that I gave you. So what do we know about the equation of our new line, sky? It has the same slope. So since it has the same slope, we can write our equation in slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b. Our m is what in this case? The slope. And what specifically is the slope? Negative 2x plus b. We don't know what the y-intercept is. Because I'm telling you that I want the equation of the line to be parallel to the line that I gave you. So now, we need to find the y-intercept. Anybody have a strategy that we can use to find the y-intercept? Sean?
Plug in 2, 4 off x and negative 5 for y. You get negative 4 and multiply. You know what to do with these together. We can make that. So y is
Okay. So Sean said we plug our x value in for x. So 2 goes in for x, and negative 5 in for y. So then, we do like we've always done, and we solve for our y-intercept. So negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. We still have our plus b. Add 4 on both sides. So that means we have negative 1 equals b. So then we have to write our final equation. So our final equation is y equals negative 2x minus 1. Okay? So, now what I want to do is go through step by step with the steps that I just wrote out and write a parallel line for number 2. So what's my first step? Identify the slope. So what should my slope be with this line? 7x? This is 7. Byron, why should it be 7? So our lines are parallel. Our lines are parallel, so the slopes need to be the same. So now what's my second step? Write this out in slope-intercept form. So y equals, my slope is 7 times x, and we don't know b. I want to emphasize the fact that we don't know b. Okay? What's my third step? I'm substituting in my coordinates. So my y value is negative 25. My x value is negative 4. We still don't know b. What's my fourth step, Justin?
Add 28 to both sides.
Add 28 to both sides, so I'm solving for b. Equals negative 28 plus b. So I'm adding 28 to both sides, so I have b equals 3. What's my final step?
Write it in. Write it out.
Right, my final equation. So I have y equals, my slope is 7 times x plus my b, which is 3. I'd like you to just try number 3 on your own. So, what's my slope for number 3? 1/3. So I have y equals 1/3 x plus b. Ooh, shaker time. Is that a hammer time? Doing shaker time? Come on. Hey, Kramer. What you got? What's the next step? So what do I plug in? 5 for y and 12 for x.
Are we supposed to get rid of the fraction?
So the cool thing about the problem that I gave you is 12 times 1/3 will just get rid of the fraction for you. So what is 12 times 1/3? What's that the same thing as? Yeah, it's the same thing as 12 divided by 3, so it's 4.
But in the next one, it goes more down, so we get rid of the fraction.
You don't need to get rid of the fraction. Because you're just, so when you write equations of parallel and perpendicular lines, you're just going to write the equations in slope-intercept form, not standard form. So you don't need to worry about getting rid of the fraction. So then, my next step, someone? Anyone? Subtract 4. You can say minus, I don't care. So b equals 1. So Sean, what's my final equation? What's my final equation? He misspoke. He meant 1/3. 1/3 x plus 1. Yeah, that's hard. No, it's hard to see. Questions about number 3? So if you went ahead and did number 4, you should have gotten something along the lines of y equals negative 5 over 6x minus 2/3. I can do it. Yeah. So what's my first step? So my slope is negative 5 over 6. No, you don't have to. I'm just trying to spell it out as clear as possible for you. So y equals negative 5 over 6. Wes, are you talking math?
Yes.
Okay. Plus b. So now what do I do?
Oh, you have it right.
Then you plug in the numbers that we're going to teach.
So what do I plug in?
Well, negative 4 goes into y, and 4, sorry,
Okay, got me.
I didn't say Kramer. What do I do? Yeah, negative 4 for y and 4 for x. So I've got negative 4 equals negative 20 over 6
So we don't reduce it.
plus b. You might want to reduce it. So this is the same thing as negative 4 equals negative what?
10 over
10 over 3 plus b. So I'm going to bring this up here. So I'm going to make negative 4 have a 3 in the denominator.
Oh, right.
Nathaniel? No. So this should be something along the lines of negative 12 over 3 equals negative 10 over 3 plus b. So I just made this a fraction, negative 4 over 1, and I wanted a 3 in the denominator, so I multiplied by 3 on the top and bottom. So it became negative 12 over 3. So I add 10 over 3 on both sides, So I have b equals negative 12 over 3 plus 10 over 3. So what's negative 12 over 3 plus 10 over 3? Negative 12 over 3 is negative 2/3. Yeah, 4 was just a crazy fraction. So I identified my slope. I want a perpendicular line, so I need to flip it and change the sign, so my slope is 2. So now, yeah, what do you think the second step's going to be? Fine. Right. Write out slope-intercept form. So what's that going to look like, Jake? That's exactly right. So you write out the slope-intercept form with your new slope.
Wait, wouldn't the...
Now, Zach, what should I do next? Now I plug in x and y. What were you asking, Alex?
Wouldn't the two slope be negative?
Because remember, for the slope of a perpendicular line, you flip the original slope and you change the sign.
Oh,
And you change the sign. So what am I plugging in for y? And what for x? So I've got negative 1 equals 2 plus b. So then I subtract 2 on both sides. So I get negative 3 equals b. So what's my final step? Plug in b. So I've got y equals 2x minus 3. Alright, let's resort to the shaker. And you guys just walk me through how to do number 2. So, shaker. Zach wanted to be called on, and he will be called on. What's my first step? Yeah, so I'm going to identify my slope. I'm going to flip it and throw a negative sign in there. So my slope is negative 6 over 1. Or you can just negative 6. Next person, Nathaniel. What's my second step? You skipped a step on me. I've identified my slope. What do I need to do next? Yeah, I need to write it in slope-intercept form. Y equals negative 6x plus b. Write it with your new slope. So now, Nathaniel, what do I do next? Plug in my points. So where's my negative 2 going? To the x, which is next to 6. And where's my 7 going? Into the y. So I have 7 equals negative 6 times negative 2 plus b. Marley, what's my next step after I substitute my values? Yeah, so what's negative 6 times negative 2? 12. Negative times negative is a positive. And then she said I subtract 12 to solve for b. 7 minus 12 is what? Negative 5. So my final step, Bennett, what's my final step here? I know my slope and I just plug it in b. So what should my final equation look like? Remember, we're using the new slopes because it's a perpendicular line. You want to use your new slope. So what should my slope be? It's okay. Negative 6x minus 5. Yeah, slope is negative 6. So our slope is negative 6. X, and our y-intercept is negative 5. Negative 6x minus 5. Good. Alright, what do you think is going to happen next? You guys are going to do 3 on your own.